Hey guys, I've been working on a few different boards, but I thought I would post a video on hot coating this latest board I'm working on. This is an 8 foot by 32 inch by 4 7/8 thick surf SUP. It's thick, but not too long, so I should be able to use it to progress my SUP surfing. So I'm going to give you a few tips on hot coating while I play through in real time, me hot coating this board. So, as you can see here, I've poured out all the epoxy resin onto the deck of the board. You don't want to leave the resin in the pot, or the container, in my case a yogurt container, sitting in it, because it will start to heat up and react in what they call exotherm, and that's not good, because it will greatly accelerate how quickly the epoxy hardens and cures. So here I'm plowing the resin all around the board. I'm taking my time and just pushing it with my bristle brush. I'm using a 4-inch bristle brush here. Incidentally, these are called chip brushes, and what that means is they were originally actually used for removing chips for machining. Now, I continue to plow all the way around this board, spreading it out nice and even as best I can. This part takes a little while, and also you might notice that if you watch some of the pros do this, they use a ton of resin, and I don't like doing that because it creates a ton of waste. And they're also using polyester resin, which is significantly cheaper, and some of it's even UV cured, meaning it has these activators in the resin to catalyze it by exposing it to UV light. So as long as it's not exposed to UV light, you don't have to worry about it going off. So they can save that resin and then reuse it. Now, with epoxy resin, once you mix them, that's it. It starts reacting and hardening, and depending on how much you mix, if you mix a ton of it so that you can pour all over the board and then it drips all around, down the edges, down the rails of the board, and while you might get a really great finish, you are also incredibly wasteful, so I don't like doing that. So what I've done through experience is I figured out that for a board this size, about 600 grams of total mixed resin is a good amount. I get enough that'll cover all of the rails, and I get a nice even coat. So what happened here was I wiped down the board with acetone, but I used a cloth and some lint or little fibers came off of it. The little threads got caught on some of the edges after I sanded some of the lap from the previous from the lamination step, and the fiberglass has these little sharp edges. Even though they're really tiny and I've sanded it smooth, the cloth caught on it and it caused it to fetch and pull off little fibers. So that's what I was doing there, I was pulling off the fibers. So here now I am slowly starting to work through the rail and getting the epoxy all down by the rail. I'm working it back and forth, smoothing it out. I did get a little bit of a fisheye in a couple spots, so I just kind of rubbed it with my glove and I was able to remove the fisheye. If you have a lot of fisheyes, then you probably had a lot of contaminants on the board, which typically probably comes from your hands. So just be ultra careful when after glassing the board to only ever touch the board with gloved hands if you can. And then of course, give the board a good wipe down with acetone, isopropyl alcohol, or denatured alcohol. Here I'm picking out more little pieces of fibers that got caught, unfortunately. And then here I've picked off just a, that was like a bug actually that got into the hot coat, a little fruit fly, unfortunately. A little bit of a pain. Okay, so now I'm starting to do some cross strokes just to smooth out any amount of epoxy that might be still a little thick on the deck. I will mention, I am glassing in the evening. The temperature is around 26 degrees Celsius, so the epoxy is flowing real nice, but just remember that the hotter the temperature, the quicker the epoxy will react. And you also want to make sure to only ever hot coat or work with epoxy in temperatures above 15 degrees Celsius. Okay, here now I'm going to start doing my cross strokes just to even everything out. I'm using my left hand to hold my shirt from dipping into the rail of the board. And now I'm going back and forth, just a little bit of a rhythm and rocking back and forth with overlapping strokes. Again, another piece of fiber there, it looks like. Now I'm just getting to the tail. Now I'm going to go over the rail a couple times. Make sure to get really good coverage on the rails. This board I'm building here is quite interesting. It's actually got a carbon fiber stringer on the bottom. I didn't use a wooden stringer on this board, and it's made from a lighter density EPS foam, which I ended up putting a few extra vent plugs in this as well. I put 3 vent plugs, one at the nose, the middle, and at the tail, because there's a lot of volume to this board. Now we'll do my long strokes up and down the board. This will be kind of the final step to really level out this finish. And you can see it's coming out nice and smooth now. It's being level. I don't have any fish eyes, which is awesome. And this whole thing should be very fast for you. It shouldn't take you any more than a couple of minutes. If it's taking you more than 10 minutes to do this, then somewhere along the line you've maybe ran into some problems. So there, I'm done. I've hot coated the board, and yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. This was just a super quick video. I will do like a build video on this board, maybe just showing you how I made this. It's a pretty cool looking board, and hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks so much for watching.